Deli, yeah.
Really?
So they have the chicken and stuff. It was on sale. So, hey, I guess so.
You better
Yeah.
How many do you want? Here, excuse you. You ran your buttons.
I'll take 2. But more.
Okay.
First one is just a taste.
Well, what do you think?
I'm the first participant.
Are you doing a Zoom call?
Oh, that's
Yeah.
your computer.
I think I'm in. I don't think I have to do anything.
You're into something.
Welcome to Steve's webinar. This one they limit to 100 people. So at a meeting, we have 100 people. So that's why I thought I better do it early.
They can't hear us, I hope, right?
Well, we all of a sudden hear somebody needs to mute.
Right?
What?
You can't hear us or anything,
I
right?
hope not. It didn't have any.
You hope not? That's
Well,
not.
look, it didn't have anything that I had to do anything. That's what I was saying. If somebody says somebody needs to mute, we know that. It's just showing the screen.
I
But that bad,
I don't know anything.
but we can hear them. Unless it's a little these I get, which we are about to receive from my body.
Amen.
I better check it again. That poor thing, he was not feeling too well. He gets like I do, where my ear goes out.
Orange?
Yeah, and so I think he needed a thing of whiskey. He said something about wine and something or other. I thought whiskey might take care of it. Yeah, I don't see anything where you, oh wait, here. Mute.
Do you think I should stay in? Yes, I can hear the feedback. or any different?
Well, just let's not get feedback on it, so.
No, no,
wherever-
so maybe I need to be in the living room or,
Could be. I mean, that could be, sweetie. You know,
so are you okay? Ready?
I'm trying to be, yeah.
Do you need any water?
That's what I'm gonna get.
Well, we can get this together, Steve.
Hi, Steve.
How you doing, Jeff?
Doing well. Thank you. How about you?
Uh, little, little exhausted from today, but otherwise doing okay.
It's been a long day for you, but I heard it went very well.
It did, yeah. I'm real happy that all the techie stuff worked out, because it's been, a big investment in time and equipment and stuff to get it working right. So I've almost ignored painting, so that it came to like, well, I sure hope I remember how to paint after all this.
Sure. Well, it'll be worth it, I'm sure. I talked to Delenn, and she was going to share when we introduced you. She said that she felt like it was really a great way to do class, because you know how in class, not everybody gets the good seat by the instructor, and you're always looking
Absolutely.
at,
I said you can be in the back of the room behind the pillar and not see what's going on.
yeah.
So
And so
yeah, I
she
think they
felt
do
like
get a good view of what you're doing, provided you have good cameras and know how to use them.
Sure, sure. Well, I am going to try to keep this business meeting very, very, very brief, so we can get right to you, so we don't keep any longer than we need to, because I know it has been a long day for you. And I'm here. I just want to make sure I got in, and you do what you need to do, and I'll just be on hold until we get ready to get started.
Okay, let me put you so that, okay, yeah.
And I can mute myself right from here, and I can unmute myself when it's ready to go. I see.
Yeah, I can, I thought I can mute everybody and then you can unmute yourself. So let me mute all, and then
Okay.
with the option that people have the option to unmute themselves. Now, what I did is I invited all the people that were in the workshop to be panelists, so that they would be the people asking questions if there were, some questions to be asked. At you and my wife and the group. So
Great, and I
that'll
see
work
here
better.
I can unmute myself right there, so you can hear me, right?
Right, exactly. And if you want to do it in a temporary way, you can press and hold your space bar. I think that
Yes.
also does it. So
Perfect. Well, I'm looking forward to it. So I'll go ahead and mute myself, and we'll just wait till we get ready to go here.
sounds good, Jeff.
Okay. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you. Then Jeff, when you go to make your announcements or whatever, I guess I will spotlight you or
Okay,
whatever it is that you do to put you on.
that's fine.
So just give me a heads up.
All right. I'll probably, see, I got 6:43 here on my computer. I'll
Yeah, me
probably
too.
do it about 7:02. We'll let everybody get on that we can, and we'll start just 2 minutes after 7.
Sounds good.
Okay.
The welcome thing is on.
Things on.
Yeah.
You're not on.
No, I had him. I was just a minute ago.
Oh, okay. So you want him to be on first or something?
Well, I will spotlight him or whatever there's another option, I guess. And
Okay, you have enough paper towels? Yeah. That would be my first thing. Okay, good luck.
there's a whole group of them over there
And
waiting.
you can
Yeah.
you can even just let me talk. You don't even need to spotlight me. They don't need to see me if you don't want, if it's easier.
It might be easier to communicate that way.
Without video.
Pardon?
Without me on video.
No, I was going to put you on video so it
Would
looked like you were
prefer to have me on
communicating.
video?
If he wants to.
Unless you're in your PJs.
Oh, no, I'm right here in my office, so I'm good.
I know. I was just going to say during the coronavirus thing, you never know what people are wearing.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'll be right here. Sometimes my connection's a little bit unstable, but hopefully it'll hold the brief time I'll be on. So,
Okay.
but your welcome image looks great on the screen.
Oh, great. Super. Yeah.
Steve,
Yeah.
you'll have to explain to people that I'm you. My name's up on your, you and you're me and I'm you.
Yeah. We're kind of gender benders here.
Hey, Jeff.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Good to meet you. We had a good day today. Lots of nice people.
Oh, great. Well, I've heard wonderful things about you. When was it you were at the SWS?
Trying to think, I think it was October last year, I think.
Just last year. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I had a great time. It was at Tita's place. At the Snow Pony.
Yep. Excellent.
So we had a great time.
Well, I
Yeah,
was.
any of you all that want to put your video up so I can see you, it makes it easier for me to talk to like a group. So you can, turn your video on so I can see who you are.
You can turn video on if you want to.
Yeah.
There's Dylan.
Hey, Dylan.
Oh, your hair looks nice, Dylan.
I can-
I like your hair down. Oh, she's muted. You're muted.
There
Oh,
we
there
go.
you are.
Hi.
Hi, Jolene and Lois. And then I see Kay is here and Tita. I just see names. I don't see the video on.
Yeah, that's what I said. They can turn their video on and that
If they
way,
want to.
that way we can get somebody to talk to when we're doing the workshop so that,
Sorry, I'm not ready for public viewing.
Oh my gosh, Tita, I hear your voice though. I bet you're beautiful as usual.
Oh, no, not hardly. And I am already in my PJs. You can tell Steve that. Jeff may be dressed, but not I.
Tita's in her PJs.
well,
Okay.
Tita, I remember when I did the workshop there and you all had, you all brought your bandanas, but a lot of them wouldn't put their bandanas on. Kind of like they said a cowboy girl or a cowboy girl would never take her hat off after she put it on because it would muss her hair.
But I think I put the bandana on. I think I was the renegade.
Yeah, I think you did. But
That
a
sounds
lot
like
of
you, Tita.
You did a great job when you were there, Steve.
thank you. Yeah, I enjoyed that. That was fun. We had a good time.
Yeah, it was good. But Tita, how have you been?
I've been well, thank you. I had to learn all the Zoom stuff so I could do classes online, and that stretched my old brain.
Good for you.
But it's
No
fun,
lie.
and I have a good group, so
Good, good,
yeah.
good. Well, it's a learning experience and we're just learning. So, and Jolene has been wonderful. Thank you.
As usual.
As usual, she's been helping Steve and figure all this stuff out. I'll tell you, it's been a learning curve, that's for sure.
Well, I've not tried to do it high tech like y'all are. I'm still a chicken on that part. I'm doing it very low tech on Zoom.
Low tech. Like low tech. It's so cool.
And it's always an effort because my studio supervisor, my cat, sometimes makes it very difficult and acts very infractiously.
So you're doing it doing it from home, Tita?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The people at where my studio is are not wearing masks and not sanitizing, and
Oh.
I'm too old to go there and all of that.
It's scary to be out and about, so we're staying home and
Well, we have a new baby in the family, and I want to be able to see him because he's precious. And my sister has a very compromised immune system, and I want to see her, so I'm being careful.
Good for you. Good, Tita. Well, it's good to hear your voice, and I hope you come to the workshop if you can.
Oh, I was planning on it, but it didn't work out for me, so
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. I'll miss you guys.
All
Okay, I was
right.
going to say, you can jump in any day if you want to, Tita, if you still have a chance to do that.
Oh, that's very kind of you, Steve. Thank you.
Well, we miss you all, and I had a great time when I was there, so I miss everybody. And Steve has the pleasure of working with you now, so I'll back off.
No, that's okay.
All right, I'll be quiet.
I don't want to just sit here and drink coffee, so that's fine. The more conversation, the better.
All right.
I keep looking, it's weird because when, I've got a great big screen up here and I've got actually about 4 screens that are kicking around here, but the sound comes from over here and I keep looking over there, which is not where the camera is. So I remember Janet doing that and I kept saying, Janet, look at the camera or look over there. And it's just, it's your inclination is to look where people are talking, so.
I'm impressed you can handle all those cameras. I just tried 2 cameras and it's more than I can do some days.
Well, we just have the 2 cameras and they're really good ones and we just ended up with them luckily. You know, they're almost professional.
Well, they
Big
look like
Sony
it.
cameras. And yeah, they, besides doing a good job with the video part of it, they also have good microphones, you know, so we didn't have the added expense of getting a, you know, standalone good microphone as well. So that was nice. And, but then all the other stuff with, I mean, I had to get a brand new computer because the computers wouldn't, you know, that we had wouldn't handle the input from the cameras and the video card and all the rest of the stuff. So,
But
and
the
of course,
important thing is, did you get a halo light?
no, I don't, but there's so damn much ambient light in this room that you almost don't, you know, anything else would be overkill. There
No,
is
but
a,
Tita, I'm pushing for it.
the halo light makes you look better, Steve.
See, that's what I want. He doesn't
I
care.
know,
I want.
Janet didn't really give a damn about what the paintings look like.
What's important?
But then where did we just saw somebody, oh yeah, a friend of ours that had two of those great big screens. It's not a halo light. They're a great big diffused screen.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that is even more overkill, but that would take up whatever little bit of room is left in the studio. We probably couldn't be here.
I see, Steve, I see there are 36 attendees, 10 panelists.
Okay, all right, yeah.
So,
Delynn, is Priscilla having trouble getting on?
Yes, I was just trying to help her. She's sending a message through chat. She says she's trying to get in on her iPad. She says she's going to leave and try to get back on. So,
I'll mute my screen and call her and see if I can help.
okay, I don't have an iPad, so I don't really know how to help her, but
Well, I do, but that doesn't mean I could help. I'll just try.
okay.
there's a message from Beverly Boren to all panelists. Hi, guys. Oh, there's
Hi,
7
Beverly.
messages. What? There are 7 messages. Let's see.
Okay, you're monitoring the chat. That's good because
Well, I didn't know I was. There's a chat message there that you may, maybe you should look at it. Do you see it,
So
Steve?
you do that. I'll handle the rest of this stuff. All right. That you're my wingman,
Oh, no, that means
my
I
wing
don't have a
lady.
piece of paper.
Hey, Beverly, you have to unmute it. You're probably muted. Click the bottom left to unmute yourself.
So. Okay, from Pam Wilson, she doesn't think she can hear.
She
She
has to
often
join with
forgets-
audio. Did she have that option?
Pam,
Yes,
Pam, we cannot hear you.
wait a minute. Was Pam, did she get a message? Did she, let me see, I can make her a panelist if I can see her in here.
she forgets to turn on her mic a lot. So
Yeah, she
somebody
does.
needs to tell her that.
She
Well,
was,
Janet, you don't want to start promoting.
Steve, she was in class today.
Oh, okay, she
And
should have
I
gotten.
I don't remember seeing her. Maybe I didn't invite. Let's see, invite.
Okay.
Pam. How do I do that, Steve? Do I send her a?
You
Well,
can
no,
go to.
she's
can-
already signed in though, Janet, as a panelist, or she wouldn't be able to chat with us right here. But
Oh,
I don't see her on the little panel thing.
Well, here's
I don't-
Pam here. Pam Vance, is it, or Pam
Pam
Blanchard?
Wilson. Pam
Oh,
Wilson.
yeah, Pam Wilson. All right, let me, I'll allow to talk.
Oh, there
and
she is.
more
Yeah.
Yay!
Promote to panelists. She must have used the other,
Did that work?
yeah.
Yeah? You can hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Can't
Okay, I have something really important to say. While you and Tita are discussing video, TVs and all that stuff, I have one suggestion.
Okay.
Are we going to get a different color bandana tomorrow?
No, I always do the, the red or
The
faded
hot
red.
pink? It might have been red at one time. It's now hot pink.
Yeah, it is. I do like to change bandanas when I change the painting, but we're gonna still keep in the same hue, I think.
Okay, your choice.
Jeez.
That must have
Well, I
been
always
called
like
that
I think what happened is
crimson.
with doing the a lot of the marine subjects, what can happen with your painting is it ends up like a Greek flag, all blue and white, and so the bandana is a way of infusing warm wavelengths into my brain, and just the idea of what do I need to do to turn this to just get warmth into an otherwise blue and white painting, which is oftentimes what happens if you're painting marine subjects, where there's blue sky, white clouds, a white boat, or Greece if it's white buildings and white boats.
Who's the guy
And
with the
so
turban?
that was the idea. I have a whole collection of bandanas that people have given me.
Sorry, Steve, there's a whole bunch of chats. I'm sorry, there's a
Okay.
whole bunch. Beverly Warren says she can't figure out how to speak to us.
Oh.
She may not be able to, I don't know.
I don't know either.
But she says, hi, guys. And then Michael Holter says, hi, y'all. And who's the guy
Hey, Michael.
with the turban? You.
Steve, I think we might ought to explain to people, because some people are signing in and thinking that they are supposed to be showing up.
Yeah.
We might explain that there's panelists and not everybody will show up on the
I
sideline.
don't need to be a panelist, trust me. I just needed to make my comment about the bandanas and find out, and this is a key subject for me today.
Well, I think we're getting other people, just membership at large that are now signing in and they don't understand why their picture isn't showing up.
Yeah, what I thought would work with this is, ordinarily a webinar, where it's a large group of people, you don't have participation. And whereas with the workshop today, we had the participants in the workshop, I promoted to panelists so that we could interact and they'd be able to show their work and we'd go back and forth. And I thought for a larger group like this will be, I thought I would just make the folks that were in the workshop that had signed up for the workshop, I would make them panelists. So I would basically, instead of looking at a camera and just, sort of trying to interact with myself, that I would, put up some folks and also instead of doing the chat thing, which I'm not really used to, I thought it would be nice for the people in the workshop to be the people that if there was a question or if they didn't see something or if they wanted to zoom in on part of what I was doing, or if they didn't understand something, that they'd be able to ask questions and interact. But that wouldn't be possible, with what we've got 65 people or something at this point. And that would just be chaos if we had it, open to everybody doing that. So that was and I think it's going to work out pretty well where we just have, the 16 or so people or whoever shows up from the workshop. I gave them a different invitation, so they will be able to communicate and show up.
Steve, there's somebody is wondering why you are real small when the other panelists are showing, but I don't know how to.
Oh, okay.
Just
Yeah.
click
Well,
on you, I guess, right?
well, I can,
Renee Woolard says that you're small.
They'd rather see him.
Tell them to click on speaker view.
Speaker view. Okay.
Either that or gallery
I
view.
can pin
Now,
this.
gallery
and then,
gives everybody.
I can make myself huge
No, don't.
and make everybody else tiny and pinch their little heads.
I know.
Glad
Very,
you're, glad you're feeling better, Steve.
Yeah. Okay, and I
I
keep
see.
looking over at the wrong place, so that's an
I
issue.
keep getting all these all these questions, but I know very little about it. So I didn't see the gallery speaker view in the setup.
Yeah, it's gonna be almost impossible to deal with techie questions with, with a bunch of people.
With too many people, yeah, it might be too
Yeah.
hard. Okay.
Yeah,
Anybody?
usually with these things, you kind of tell people, to have like a practice session or, something, if it was a fixed type of webinar, where they would get a chance to work out the kinks,
Oh.
see if they could hear and if they could be able to speak and things. So. How are we doing on time as far as getting things started?
I think it's just after 7.
Yeah, we're ready to start, I think.
Okay, Jeff, anytime you're ready, let me gallery view. Let me spotlight you.
Steve, if I could make a suggestion, you could have anyone, if they have a question, write it in the chat. And Janet could be the moderator and maybe read that, a pertinent question out to you and answer.
Yeah, if that's what we would do ordinarily, and that will still function if there's a lot of people, kind of having the same questions. But I just thought, if we had the 16 people be in a situation where they would ask the questions, then it would kind of keep things a little more under control. Janet can look at that and see if there's, like a whole bunch of people are asking the same thing. I think that would be.
Well, I think there was a confusion about the panelists versus the other people coming in.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I hope
And
that
you
clears up.
can, just to tell everybody, when Steve starts demoing, if you want to, if you click on the picture that's up there, like you're painting or something, I think the panelists go away. I think. I mean, they don't really go away, but they're still there. But you could see it better, maybe.
They just go up to the cloud.
Yeah.
No. No, you can, and panelists, please unmute yourselves anytime you want us. Panelists are allowed to unmute yourself if you're a panelist, right? Because
Right.
they're members of the class and they can unmute and say anything
Okay,
they want. They can say, yay, hey, that looks good, or oh no, why are you doing that?
Let's let Jeff gavel in the meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll bring this meeting to order, everybody.
I second that.
It's been a long day for Steve and the class so far. They've been painting since earlier this morning. So I'm going to try to get through the business part of the meeting very, very quickly. But first, I just wanted to welcome everybody. It looks like we've got 70 people online here, which is actually a pretty good number. Not counting anybody that's on YouTube, but that's just on the Zoom meeting. But wanted to welcome everybody to kind of what is our kickoff to the 2021 SWS season. And we're really excited to have a great demo artist and one of our workshop instructors here with us tonight. And a little more about him in just a second, but I wanted to remind all the members that the 57th annual SWS members exhibition is hung. Steve is the juror. He's already juried the entire show and has given the awards. I think maybe one person knows who those recipients are, and I'm not even going to name her, but that's been done. The show has been hung at the Waters Creek Blue Gallery 2, which is a great venue. And it is located, you can find all this information on the website too. Quick, it's out there at 988 Village Green Drive. It's in Waters Creek. The hours, it's closed Monday and Tuesday, but it'll be open starting tomorrow from 3 to 7. Thursday and Friday, the same hours, 3 to 7. Saturday, it's from 1 to 7, and Sunday from 1 to 5. So if you have an opportunity, please go check out the show. It's a big space. It's easy to keep your social distancing. Masks are required. They've even got a restroom on site if you need that. So please get out there, and remember that September 27th from 4 to 6 is the members reception out there. And we will be streaming it live for those that feel uncomfortable showing up in person. But I do want to assure everybody that it's going to be a little different than the usual reception. Not going to have a big buffet or food or a lot of handling of things. It's going to be containerized drinks and some things, I think, as a giveaway at the end. But if everybody can bring their mask, come on out and join us. We'd love to see everybody in person if that's possible. So again, September 27th from 4 to 6. I'd also like to remind everybody we still have a few spots available in Ann Abgott's workshop coming up October 13th, 14th, and 15th. That one will be in person out at Sky Pony Gallery, at Tita Smith's Gallery. And masks, again, will be required. We're going to be following CDC protocol and guidelines, but Ann is looking forward to coming. Those who are going that I know of already are really excited that she's in town. So if you want to attend the workshop in person, please go on the website and sign up for that. I think it ought to be a really good one. Right now, I think there's only about 6 to 8 people, unless Dylan can tell me more, but you'd have a really good opportunity to have some pretty good one-on-one time with a great instructor. So please sign up if you can for that. The last reminder I want to send out for everybody is we have the paint out coming up in October 10th. Gaylord O'Con and Robin Jordy have done some very nice work getting it set up. It's going to be in Mineral Wells, Texas. And unlike other paint outs, it's going to be a day trip. So Mineral Wells is about an hour and a half from Dallas, literally, just an hour and a half by car. We're going to start with a non-mandatory meeting at the pavilion in the park at 9 o'clock. Everybody's going to disperse, paint. Lunch is your own responsibility. Bring it with you if you'd like. And then we're going to regroup around 4 o'clock that afternoon back at the pavilion. So we've got a location. This is rain or shine. If it rains, we've got protection of the pavilion. Mineral Wells is a great little town with lots of great opportunities to pick some really wonderful subjects. So I'm going to be there, and I hope to see a lot of other people out there as well, too. I think it should be a fun day. After we gather at 4 o'clock and kind of discuss our paintings, we'll be breaking up, and everybody will head home from there. So thanks, Gaylord and Robin, for all the work you've done to get that set up. Now, we're going to introduce Steve Rogers. Steve is the guy in the red bandana that you can all see on the screen. And although I haven't met him in person, I've had the pleasure to talk with him several times now on Zoom chats. And you know, what just a nice, wonderful guy. I've heard wonderful things about today's class. I called Dylan before this to say, hey, is there any anecdotal stories you can share that I should share in introducing Steve? She goes, not really any anecdotes, but she said she thought that the class went so well because, you know, when you're in a classroom situation at any of the, like Tita's Gallery, if you're in a lousy seat, you're not necessarily seeing right over the guy's shoulder. You don't have the best seat in the house. You're looking at everything backwards because of the mirror projection is reversed. But the great thing we've heard about this is that everybody's got the best seat in the house. Everybody's going to be looking right over Steve's shoulder. We're going to hear him very loud and clear. Janet, his wife, who was with us last October, I believe, and teaching, is going to be right there and kind of guide us with some of these chat questions that come across. But beyond that, we're going to turn it over, and you know, Steve's passion and his when he describes himself, he talks about his art is about light and color in God's world and as he experiences it. And I think you can see with the painting that's up there behind him now, with the dappled light on those boats and the glimmering and the shining light that's on the water, and all of that comes across in his work. And I think we're going to be really treated tonight to a wonderful, wonderful demo. And I want to thank everybody again for joining us virtually. This is new territory for all of us. But I think it's going to go off without a hitch. And without any further ado, Steve, take it away. We'll be with you for the duration. Thank you so much again for opening up your home and studio, and it's all yours, buddy.
Thanks, Jeff. Hi, everybody. Let me, let's see, what do I do here? I'll review me. Pin video. Okay, I guess I'm on. And yeah, I'm inclined to look over at, you know, where the talking is coming from rather than the camera, even though I have all these, I've got a monitor here, I've got me here and over here, and I tend to look the wrong place. So, but most of this is probably going to be focused on the painting itself. And yeah, I hope I still have energy from today. This is, I think, you know, most of the challenge with this is really the first big workshop that we've done virtually. We've, you know, we've done what we could to kind of gear up for this, use some of our friends as guinea pigs. But this was the first really big workshop that we've done. And, you know, so far it's really gone pretty well. So, you know, with the technical stuff, and that's really the part that I was sweating the most. Let me go ahead and switch the cameras here. And so this is the image, the drawing that I'll be working on. And can you all see the image in the lower left-hand corner? Because that's
we can see it.
Okay, that's what I'm going to be working from. And although it may not look a whole lot, it'll look similar to that, but there'll be some, you know, definite changes in what's going on with it. Let me.
Steve, can you just get a little closer to that drawing? Is it zoom a little bit closer, or just the? Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to be doing sky and stuff, so I don't really want to be that close on the drawing yet. I will be eventually, and remind me of that when I get to that point. But right now, I'm going to be up in here doing some stuff. So, okay, well.
I might suggest, Steve, that those who do have the ability to join in with their voice, please mute if you're not speaking, so we don't get any background noise, because we are picking
Yeah,
up
let
some
me,
background.
I can do something here too as well, Jeff. Let me, if I can, where is this? I hold the palette in my hand, so I can't really do some of the things that, oh, okay. Oh, panelists, okay, let me get to panelists. I'm gonna mute all, and that's with the option that if you want to unmute yourself, you can in order to ask a question or to comment. But right now I've muted everybody because sometimes, you know, people aren't aware that they're still mic'd up, and you know, they may say something. Dude. Okay, I generally, I'm not sure if everybody can see I work holding the palette. I think Charles Reed did this, and John Singer Sargent painted with the palette in his hand when he painted watercolors. So there's a lot of good precedent for doing it this way. Those guys did a pretty good job. The only thing is I sort of have the camera angled so that I don't have my head in what I'm doing, which is why you get a little bit of a trapezoid effect. But also it's a little more, I don't always have the palette in the view of the camera, because it's kind of like that's where it would drip on my painting. So I think instinctively I probably have it closer to me. So just a couple of notes in that direction. Let's see what I want to do here. Okay, I'm going to do the sky. And today, when we had the workshop, I was trying to highlight, you know, a couple of white boats. I think you guys saw that when the webinar opened up. There was, you know, a slide with that up, and it said, "Welcome to the webinar." And that was the image we worked on today. And in order to do that, I made the sky pretty much of a darker value, a mid value. Didn't have any whites in it. But in this case, this is in Cortona in Italy. You know, all the buildings there in this part of Italy are all basically made out of sienna, you know, the burnt sienna, raw sienna. I guess the ground is raw sienna. If you burn it, you get burnt sienna. But the blocks and everything are all that color. So in order to get some white in the painting, I'm going to go into the sky, and I'm going to try and probably use the sky as an opportunity to get some white in the painting, and probably include a little bit of it on this building. Let me squeeze out just a little more color. Usually when you run a big wash, like a big sky wash, you don't want to run out of color in the middle of it. And I thought I had what I needed here, but I guess I couldn't. Not sure if I showed everybody my tamping down method, where I'm putting down the paint. I squeeze out a lot of fresh color. I think that it allows you to get really fresh, good, strong color, good, strong values when you're painting, instead of taking, you know, some really dried up stuff and trying to enliven it as you're going along. So, you know, and that's something you probably need to do ahead of time. And if I was coming to a workshop like you guys in Texas, and I had to bring my palette on the plane, I would have to get off the plane and get to the hotel room and start spritzing the color with a little squirt bottle and getting things up to speed. And then after the workshop, you know, get it dried out and put it on the plane. So this is, you know, got, you know, some advantages that way. Okay, so I'm thinking, okay, we're going to go up in here in the,
Steve, are you on 300-pound paper? Someone wants to know.
yes, I am. It's 300 pound, and it's also stretched, which is kind of, you know, for a lot of people that would be kind of overkill, but I just find anything you can do to make the whole watercolor process a little easier is it's well worth it. You know, it's not that much effort to do it. At first, it seems like it could be, but okay, so there's an awful lot of cobalt involved in what I just put down, putting a little bit of warm color into that. Just to kind of gray it down, mellow it out just a little bit. And then probably over in this area, I'm going to go with a little different version. This is more, a little more cerulean blue. And we're not afraid of any blossoms. They just look like little clouds that we don't have to work at making. Okay. Now to get into the roof, maybe is a good place to go at this point. Or I'll do sometimes I put some hills back in here. And, you know, a lot of times if I have more time involved, I'll let things dry and then go back and act like it's bled into whatever it's going to bleed into. In the case of a, you know, demo like this, I may just get in there and, you know, crank it in and hope for the best. Oops. Guess that's all right. Okay, and then a little over here. It's always a challenge to, to be able to do this and get things to dry, so you're not getting, I end up kind of putting my palm back on the page on the paper. And so, sometimes that's an issue if you get something done down here and then you have to go back up, above where you've done it. Clean my palette up a little bit while I'm doing this, because I'm going to go to a different color. Okay.
Steve, we have a question. Somebody wants to know if you're using hot press or cold press.
It is 300-pound cold press. And so there's a difference. If it's 140-pound cold press, it would be a smoother surface. So really the equivalent with 300-pound cold press would be 140-pound rough. I do with my abstracts, I'm working all on hot press because I'm trying to create my own, kind of thing. And in this case, okay, so. I usually make this, when I've painted this thing, I've painted it more than a few times, I make the building a lot larger. So I don't know if this is gonna, this may work out better. Just going in with taking the warm color and putting a little cool into it. I kind of like Usually I would sort of force a bleed here where it bled into the sky just to make it look a little more painterly, a little more casual. Okay, and I'll just throw a little cool color into this, sort of mellow it out a bit. Maybe a little too wet there, but that's, I guess, all right. Oh. It's your basic heat gun. It's not a hair dryer. If you use it on your hair, you're going to have about as much hair left as I do. So. Figure out what to do here. Kind of getting up there with some warmth up in that area. And
I should have probably had you zoom in there, Steve, in that.
oh yeah, probably. I
No.
forgot about that.
That might be easier to zoom into that building a little bit since you're working in there and for the detail, maybe. And then they could see what colors you're using, or
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I didn't even think of that. You get painting and
well, I didn't either. I was mesmerized. Okay, then, yeah, there you go. That might help. Up a little bit there. I'm not seeing the top
yeah.
building. Yeah, that's good, right, guys?
Okay.
Okay, thumbs up.
Okay, and then
And a beautiful color on that top. Up in there, up in that roof. Up.
we'll see. I try and get a little warmth into some of these things where it's like picking up some sort of reflected light from up, from actually what's going to go on down below here. Let's see if this works. Okay. Maybe we can. Sorry to be so quiet. I just kind of into what's happening with this. Give this a quick blast. Well, we're zoomed in on this, so it all looks a little bigger. Notice how everything dries lighter and probably a little duller as well. And, you know, so you really need to kind of anticipate that if you want the painting to be stronger.
Steve,
Yeah.
somebody asked for you to back off the Zoom a little bit so they
Oh,
could
yeah.
see, you mixing your paints. Okay, that's good. And if they can see you mixing your paints a little bit, they liked seeing that. So maybe
Okay. Yeah.
you might have to back off a little bit more, but.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah. Let me. Okay, we're trying to get in there.
Okay. Seeing the colors that you decide on to put in there is good.
Yeah, I know. I thought that would be, real easy to see, and I don't think it is. So. Okay. I keep looking for some indication of the time, and with all these things I've got up there, I don't really see it. Do we know what time it is as far as?
It's 8 o'clock Central Time.
Okay. Okay, let me figure out where to go here. Well, just put some happy little trees in.
Maybe you should back out just a little bit more if you can.
Okay. I think what I was telling everybody in the class is we need to get some darks in, and I have yet to do that in this painting. And so let's see what we can do here.
It makes that building pop.
Oh, yeah. make some happy little branches so that people actually know they're trees if there's any dispute. Maybe just a few more of these guys. Oops. Get into it here. Okay, enough. And actually the thing, I don't know if we'll have enough time, but the thing that really, kind of pops stuff is to get the additional little pop that you get when you get some of that. And also, if we get some of these windows in, but I don't really want to run out of time.
I know, and you have to do that foreground too.
Yeah, I know that's probably the nicer part of it. That's kind of what I want to get up to. Some of these windows down here will actually be.
It looks great.
More bluish and stuff.
Are they warm?
Well, these are reflecting sky and down here a little, some of these are. And I would be a whole lot more careful with them on the upper panes here. And then we can get down in here. Yeah, the up here is warm. And there's some other stuff in there, and also if you've got, just as long as I'm doing these, if you've got an area that's a little flat in color or too dark or whatever, it's always good to put like something dark in there. Kind of really opens it up, makes it look lighter than, makes it by contrast look lighter. Yeah, I think I've got a Julia Childs in the oven over here, so I can show you, what some of this would actually look like when it gets finished. But maybe I'll get into the we're running out of time, are we?
How much time do we have?
We
You're
typically end at 9 p.m. and it's currently 8:08.
Oh, okay. So I've got like almost an hour.
45 minutes.
45 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will get into the foreground right away, and then if I have time afterward, I'll get back up into some of the building. Well, we do.
At our traditional in-person meetings, we usually have like a little break for a little intermission, but online, I guess we don't have to do that unless you need a little break.
Need a little
No,
break.
I'd rather keep going and get some of this done.
Somebody from the chat said they like to have taken your workshop, that it looks fun.
Yeah, well, there was more opportunity in the workshop too, to be able to kind of take more time with things. Easy to try and rush and get maybe a little pizzazz going with it. Yeah, I will do let's clear up my palette a little bit and get ready to roll on this.
The workshop is very good. I encourage everyone to visit Steve and Janet's website and sign up for their announcements when they are doing other online workshops.
Thank you. Yeah,
We're new to this, so this is all.
We're just getting up to speed on this. It's a little, it's a little disconnected, but it's like getting used to anything. I know when I first started painting, I wasn't really used to doing. I hadn't done workshops, so I was kind of on my own. I know when my mom would come by or my grandmother would come by and I was painting, I would stop painting because I, just wasn't used to having anybody watch me. And so at some point, I think somebody offered me like $1,000 to teach a workshop for a week. This is back in the day. And I thought, well, that sounds like I ought to be able to overcome that that whole tendency to not paint in front of people. And so I did that. And then all of a sudden, I was sort of thrust into painting for Florida Watercolor. I did like actually the first big demo for them like years and years and years ago. And here in the audience is like Miles Batt and all these big AWS people that that I admired. And it was in the morning. My hand was shaking so much that that actually a friend of ours came by and took my cup of coffee away and put a beer down and said, "Steve, you need to drink this instead of the coffee." And then I don't know if you can see me, but oh yeah, because can you guys see me in the little corner? Because I've got a panel over that. Anyway, my hand was shaking so much that I actually held my one hand with my other hand. And a lady at the end of the workshop, after it was all over, came up and said she had Parkinson's. And she was she had gotten a lot out of my demo because she thought that was a really good technique to control your tremor. So, so that, so this is, this is a lot easier to get used to than that was, but it definitely is a whole different spin on things. Okay, so I'm just gonna, what am I gonna do? Get a bigger brush, when in doubt. And we'll just get in here. I think one of the things I want to probably think about with this is this should probably be dark against light here. Just go across here.
I just love that green, Steve. What is that green? That yellow green?
It is, and I don't often use that with this, but it's aureolin and also the cobalt green.
Okay.
So,
It's very nice. Aureolin and cobalt green.
yeah.
It looks happy.
Oh, it'll look happier. It may end up looking too happy for, we'll see. One thing I'm thinking about here is keeping things wet for a while. Okay.
Steve, you may have to move your painting up. We can't,
Oh,
I mean, we can't see and then we see the picture of you there, but I don't know. Okay. All right. That's better.
yeah, we don't want to miss the kill it or cure it, whatever. Well, I don't know where we're going from here, but can you guys see most of this? So anyway, we've got a lot of color going, and once this dries, there'll probably be an opportunity to, get back in there and make something of that if we want to. I just think it's, kind of interesting to, not be limited to what the actual image looks like, even if it's kind of on the dull and the flat side. This kind of will put you in a situation where you're going to do something at this point, I guess.
Steve, it's Joe. Do you think your work more recently in abstract has influenced something like this more?
I've always tried to, for a demo, with a large group or something, is to do something that, takes you out of the ordinary, gets, some excitement going, whether it works or not. It always kind of has been something, these are kind of demos that I've done rather than the more, because for those, for the people that are in the workshop, you realize that I usually, I work pretty carefully, not tight, but I move along at a pace that, where I'm making little color changes and everything. And with something like this, it's just more like, okay, let's let it loose and see what happens. And at this point, when this dries, you can get back in there and do some things, maybe make this into, well, in fact, I've got something here that I've done, make it into something that's, got more, not structure back in here, but something where you would actually see, maybe some lavender and some weeds and things like that. Before I run out of time, I'll show you what I just did before we did the class. I had a little of this done. But I went in and just kind of kicked around, and so that's again sort of just getting kind of wild with it. I don't know. Can you all see that pretty well?
That's really gorgeous, Steve.
Very nice.
So here there's a little more indication of something there more than, but that's kind of where this begins, is something where you're just putting down, some color and letting things happen. And I think I will kind of give this a blast and maybe get up here and maybe do a little bit more with some of this before I expire. As strong as this is, though, you notice it's drying much flatter, much, not with all the, the real, what appeared to be real heavy intensity. See what happens here. So different than, what I've been used to painting, more recently, is the fluid acrylics on hot press and doing abstracts. And they're, whereas here, everything's drying dark or lighter. With the abstracts, they dry a couple shades darker. So, you have to wrap your brain around a whole different, kind of anticipation of where the value is going with it. Today, when we were doing the workshop, there was something in the webinar, I guess, that was giving me like every hour or even at some point 15 minutes what the time was, And I thought, well, that was weird. And then I thought, well, actually, it was kind of instructive because I thought it was something built into the program that would, kind of let you know how long, how much time was left in the webinar. But I had never seen that before, and I don't think anybody else had either.
Steve, can you get back out a little bit away from the painting? I mean, show more of the painting at the bottom. Yeah. Okay. The bottom is, we're missing that bottom part.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Because that's kind of what I was up to there.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I would do kind of here is, kind of give a little more indication of that there's actually, grass and weeds here. So you can make, some things that are kind of wild and abstract looking into, something that's a little more convincing as what things actually are. So.
Jeff says fabulous demo.
What's that? Oh, okay, yeah. I thought you were saying it and I was thinking, I hope you said that, Janet.
Oh, of course. Right, Jeff?
There's a little kind of a indication of like a door that was here. You know, in some places, and I don't think this is the case here, they had plague doors that they would make a door and then board, you know, block it off so that that the plague wouldn't come in. Maybe we need to do that lately. just occurred to me that might be more of a current thing. Okay, here.
Steve, today you were encouraging us to paint on bigger pieces of paper.
Mm-hmm.
And you were saying how in a way you think it's easier.
Well, I always think if you make a you know, a mistake of a certain dimension on a big piece of paper, it's a smaller mistake than if you make a boo-boo on a little bitty piece of paper. It's, you know, obviously, you know, proportionate. It's a lot worse looking. Never sure exactly what the heck this is. I think it's just where a roof caved in or something, but it looks like almost a little turrety kind of a thing. Sometimes just that extra little dark in under some of this stuff will make, you know, really quite a difference.
Michael Halter, and to all panelists and attendees, he loves the use of your color and it challenges him to get crazy with it. Well, he is crazy with it, Michael.
Just a wild and a crazy guy.
The challenge is to make it go together, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, sometimes it's more fun to, you know, to do that, and the abstracts are fun too. You know, I think sometimes we get stuck in a rut in what we're doing, and I can remember doing, you know, probably a gazillion shrimp boats and lighthouses and stuff back in the day, and all of a sudden you become really complacent with what you're doing. You know, some of the joy is gone. You know, some of the you know, the discovery of what you're doing because you've done it and done it and done it. So, you know, one option is to kind of change the approach that you're doing to, you know, to maybe the same subject. Another is to, you know, get a different point of view. I know when Janet and I went to Greece for the first time, made a huge difference in my painting. You know, all of a sudden, you know, like a quantum leap, you know, it didn't occur instantly, but, you know, within about a year, you know, I was getting into AWS and winning awards and things. And really, I'd done a little of that with some figurative pieces that I did originally, but, you know, you get stuck in doing things and it's the same old, same old. And if that's, you know, if you go at a painting with that attitude that you're just, you know, kind of putting in time with it, you know, I think it, you know, it shows in the painting, it comes across. I think there's something that you do with the painting that communicates, you know, to the audience that you have in the future, that there's energy in the painting or there is no energy in the painting. And I think that's important. Where are we at on time? Because I think
You're at 8:35. I'd say maybe 20 more minutes and you could wrap it up.
okay. Yeah, I can probably keep, yeah, sometimes there's some of the little things I think will make a difference, especially up in here. And then maybe I'll come back in here and, you know, a little no guts, no glory kind of a.
All right. Pam Wilson says that it's a fabulous painting and stellar demonstration. Thank you. That's from Pam.
Okay. So there are some windows up in here. Trying to figure out where I'm at with this.
Steve, one question that always fascinates me with our guest artists, particularly the ones that jury our exhibitions.
Mm-hmm.
As a juror, what do you look for in a painting? What qualities capture you and help you to select a painting to either get an award or make it into the show? And can you tell us a little bit about your process on that? All
Sure.
different, but I just wanted to hear your take on it.
Yeah, I think, you know, kind of what I was saying about having, let me put me on. Oh, I'm not. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, you know, I mean, given whatever the level of, you know, the submissions, and in the case of like what you guys had, you had really good paintings, and you know, some of the people were, I think I've discovered that some of them are, you know, people from the Dallas area, but you also permit people to enter the show, you know, that are from all over the country. And, you know, in some cases, shows like that, you know, get really heavy duty painters, you know, from all over the world. And so you know, given whatever the level of accomplishment of the people submitting is, you know, you're going to have a little different take on it. But you want something that's well designed and well painted. Those are kind of givens. Although I think sometimes if a painting has, a lot of passion and a lot of heart in the painting, I think that can even overcome, sometimes things, painting that may have more technical challenges. You have to weigh all those kind of competing things. Hopefully you get a painting that's well executed, that's designed well, and that has something to say, that comes from the heart, maybe a different, assuming that, I think it's more of a challenge to get a piece recognized, that has a, that everybody's seen before. I think there was a well-executed painting of the Bridge of Sighs, the Pontisa Spori in the exhibition. But if you're painting, something that everybody's seen before, and furthermore, you're painting something that Sargent painted, there better be something about it that, that leaves, that kind of hits a different dimension, that says more than what you're used to seeing. I know Steve Doherty judged the National Watercolor Society show. And prior to that, I had a painting in Florida Watercolor. And because he was, doing a lot of things to promote American artists and American Artist Watercolor and some of the other publications that they put out, that there is no longer, that whole thing is gone. But I always thought he did a fabulous job. And anyway, he came up to Janet at the show and said, gee, I love Steve's painting. Now, that painting was in Florida Watercolor and it did not get an award, I don't believe. Or if it did, it wasn't very much. I don't think it got an award at all. But Steve was really taken with it. And then, it turns out that he's going to be the awards judge that year for National Watercolor Society. And I thought, well, he really said some neat stuff about the painting. And I thought, well, I would send that to NWS. And assuming it got past the jury, anyway, it turned out he gave me best of show. His competing publication, the ones that did, I think it was Watercolor Magic at the time, and I think that morphed into Watercolor Artist. Every year they did, one of the issues was about people, paintings that had won major awards in national competitions. And so they interviewed Steve, and he said, well, when their editor sees this, that who the judge was, they probably won't use it. Well, they did, and he said that he had, this was Piazza San Marco in Venice, a scene of the whole piazza with the people and the pigeons and the basilica and the campanile, the bell tower, and the whole 9 yards. And he said that, here's this subject that everybody's painted and that you've seen a million times, but he said, Steve made me see it freshly for the first time. And I thought, that was maybe, what you want to do is, have something of yourself, something of your heart in the work, and have that be able to, communicate itself to the people that are looking at your painting. And that's also the way I judge a show is I have, some standards as far as the way it's painted and the technical stuff, but I judge from my heart and the way what you look at a painting, and if it really grabs you, there's got to be, some pretty damn good reasons it does grab you. And, that's really what I go by as much as anything. And then I can probably justify, with, more, looking at it and saying, oh yeah, well, the reason that it grabs me is, for this and that and the other reason, but it's mostly that it just grabs you. And I think And those things, those paintings that will usually go on to win a major award in the show, they'll do that right away. As soon as you see the slide jury, or if you go into an exhibition, they'll grab you right across the room. And, you know, there's a reason for that. And you know, it's usually because the person that's painted it has painted it with, you know, because there's a passion in what they're doing, you know, which is a real good reason to paint things that, you know, that you have a deep feeling for, you know, whether it's animals or people or in the case of abstracts, I've seen, you know, people react to some abstracts that I've done, and they react to it in a really visceral and personal way. And, you know, I don't know that I intended, you know, for that, that emotion to be in the painting that they experience, but, you know, that's what art's about. It's not about, you know, doing a really good job of carefully doing something that you could do in Photoshop. And there are things that are done, you know, very deliberately and you know, that are super realistic. Lauren McCracken is from your area. And, you know, Lauren, you know, certainly, you know, it's a much more careful, much more processed thing, but, you know, there's something of himself, I think, in what he's doing, even though he's putting it through more of a deliberate process. Does that make any sense?
No, absolutely. I think that was a wonderful explanation of your process. I think it was really good. Thank you.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I'm happy to share that because you know, people wonder, you know, why you pick what you do. And occasionally, you know, I'll go to an exhibition and I'll say, you know, what was that guy thinking when he, you know, picked that painting or, you know, something. And, you know, occasionally I'll go back and look at my own, you know, thought, and I'll think, why did I pick that? You know, so there's a subjective element to it that you can go back maybe the next week or, you know, several weeks later and, you know, have a little different point of view about what you've picked. I think I just looked through, was it yesterday or the day before with Constance, we did a virtual tour of the gallery and some of the paintings. And that was with the idea that, you know, would I, you know, maybe it would, you know, especially doing it virtually because, you know, ordinarily you would do the judging, the awards part of the judging in person, you know, and look at the actual paintings and, you know, get up close and personal and see, you know, a little more about what the technique is about. And, you know, I was really happy. I was thrilled with the gallery and the exhibition and all the work that was in it. You know, I didn't see anything that I selected that, you know, bothered me. I did make one change on the awards and, you know, that's, you know, so that you know, I sort of looked and I thought, well, why did I pick that? You know, there was a painting in there that it was a good painting, but I didn't think it rose to the level of getting a, you know, one of the mid-range awards. And yet there was another painting that I had overlooked that I remembered, you know, with that, again, the whole digital thing with, you know, doing it with Cafe and that's, to me, that's an awkward app to be able to judge things. At least when I did it, I had to, you know, and Mickey was real good about, you know, trying to get him to make it as easy as possible to do it. But you have to go through back and forth and there's a lot of things and you can easily, you know, I can at least maybe overlook something that, you know, so, you know, at some point I revisited some of that and I thought, gee, I missed a painting that I think, you know, really should have gotten an award and didn't. So I'm glad that they sort of said, why don't you go and take a look at it? And it was fabulous to see the show. And it's a beautiful gallery, a good presentation for it. You know, anybody that hasn't seen the show, I'd encourage you to go take a look at it.
Well, thanks, Steve. Yeah, shout out to Constance Corbett and her entire team that worked so hard to pull this show together because I really believe it will be a fabulous show this year. But
Oh, and one thing you want to do with your work, and it may be a problem with reflections, but let me do this for the painting. And hold on, just take a second. Getting around my studio these days with all the cameras and paraphernalia, it's like a snake pit. Yeah. Let's see if this is going to work or not. But if you put a frame on something and have a look at what, especially if you finished it or if you're debating about what to do next. I don't know if you can see with the glare on it, but
You have to change the camera, switch the view.
I can't really do that. It's
well, like you were painting. Can you switch it to where you're painting rather than?
Oh, I didn't. I'm sorry. I forgot all about it. Yeah.
Well,
okay. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Well,
I thought you guys were just getting the view badly, with the lights, but
at the light.
If you stick a mat or, especially a mat, and if you put a glazing on it, like a glass or a plexi, this isn't really going down.
It looked good before. It looked good without
Okay.
Just put the mat on instead of the glass.
Yeah, I do have a mat someplace, but anyway, with the glass, it does bring back the darks, if you didn't have all that reflection on it, and gives you a little bit, it'll isolate what you're doing and give you a little better point of view. I remember doing that with the abstracts, especially where things are like that. And people would go, oh yeah, I'm happy with my painting now, now that you've seen it with a nice frame and mat on it. And
right.
Everything.
Always looks better. Yeah.
Okay, guys. Well, I guess stick a fork in it. I think I'm done.
Thank you so much, Janet. Your other significant half there, the dynamic duo. Thank you so much for pulling this off tonight. I think it was great.
Thanks.
By some of the comments over here that have been popping up all night long. What I was really impressed with was the vividness of the color that's coming through on whatever system you've got is a good one, because a lot of the times the demos that are online get a little washed out, but this the true.
I'm happy to get the feedback on that. Well, these cameras are like $900 each, so we just sort of stumbled into doing that, and this is really the first time that we've done anything where there's been a large group involved. And
yeah, I think the colors look fantastic.
Oh, great. Super. Yeah.
Absolutely.
People are coming through with lots of positive comments on the comments to the panelists. So
yeah.
Well, that's great. Yeah. Good. And for all you guys that are still here that are in my workshop tomorrow, I look forward to virtually seeing you and getting going on the rest of the painting and finishing up and having a lesson and everything. So.
Well, Steve, thank you. It's been a long day.
Yes, it has.
Some rest, and you can see everybody that you will tomorrow morning. For the rest of the membership, thanks for joining us. I think we had almost 78 people at least. It's a great turnout. Hope to see everybody September 27th at the gallery and at the awards reception.
I think Janet and I'll peek in and see how things are going for that too.
Oh, awesome.
Great.
Awesome. That'll be wonderful. Okay.
Thank you so much, Steve. It was wonderful.
Thanks,
Good night,
guys.
everybody. Thank you.
Nighty night.
Thanks, Jeff, for organizing all this.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, guys.